Good evening, Marietta here. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you being here. And tonight I want to talk to you about our graduates. Our graduates. Congratulations to all the graduates out there, all those that have made it, all those that put in that work, all those that did that time. Congratulations to you, and I pray that the endeavors that you have set for yourself in life, I pray that God will open doors that no man can shut, and that you will be able to soar in this life and get the things and earn the things that you have worked so hard that you should be able to earn. And that's my prayer for you. And I talked to a young lady earlier today, y'all, and she was telling me about graduation, and she's so excited about starting off to college, and so excited about beginning her new life and just being able to function on her own. And she wants to be able to live on her own. But of course, we understand that the rental market is not good out there. And to live on campus is what she don't want to do. She don't want to live with roommates and things of that nature, but she don't have the money to start out on her own. So I was telling her that the best thing for her to do is to stay at her parents' house if that's the case, and to be able to just, slow her roll and try to go to her local community college and just continue to commute from her mother and father's house if that's possible, and which it is. Her parents wouldn't mind her being home, but she's so gun-ho wanting to be on her own, which I really believe is a bad decision at this time. But what do you do when they done graduated and they're so excited about their life and they feel as though that life has so much to offer them out there, and but yet and still college is so expensive? And the sad part about it is I also spoke to some of the children that I have had a chance to impart some good information into that have already graduated from college. And they graduated from college and they're ready to get their life started and move on with their life. And then they're finding out that these degrees and all these things that they have worked so hard for are not carrying them where they want them to go. So they're in the midst of not being able to find a job or to be able to soar the way they want to soar in this life, in this economy the way it is right now. I mean, we got to think about the fact of inflation, has really taken its toll on a lot of people with high jobs, with high dollar jobs. You're coming out with your degrees and you got your associates and your masters and all these things, and then you're finding out that you can't even get a job, or you get the job and then you get laid off after so many months, or you've been there for years and then they land you off. And yet and still we got all these excited graduates that are coming out of college, coming out of high school, ready to start their life. Do y'all think that it would be wise to allow our youth to be able to go out there and take out a student loan or try to get a loan of any kind at this time in the midst of this situation? I know they want to further their education. I know they still believe in their mind that these big time jobs are out there for them to get and that there's going to be no problem. And that's our prayer. We pray that there is not a problem, but we see there's a problem already. And as adults, because we see there's a problem already, because we see that there's so many people already being laid off, because we see what this economy is, where this economy is going, we cannot turn a blind eye to the reality of what is happening and allow our youth to be able to get out there. Even though they're young adults starting their own life, they still need that guidance. They still need for you to allow them, yes, to make their decision, but at least inform them with the information and pray that they will make the right decision that's not going to cost them down the road. Because when you have, it's almost like saying you getting your first car. When you got your first car, you were so excited. You wanted everybody to see it. You stayed up late night thinking about it. You wanted to sit in it. You wanted to hear the radio. You wanted to go driving all hours of the day, all hours of the night. You just wanted to spend time with this new car that you got because you was excited about having this vehicle. And this is exactly what they feel like life is all about right now. But we're living in a totally different time right now. The dangers of them going out there, taking out student loans, the dangers of them going out there on their own. I understand it. I get it. I hear a lot of parents in the background saying, but you got to trust that you've imparted the right things in them as they were coming up. But see, the things that you imparted in them was to be able to go out there and everything was going to be fine. Everything was going to be peaches and cream, and they were going to get that degree. They were going to get that bachelor's. They were going to get this. But yet you got people with bachelors that are out here crying on these internet streets. They're out here with no job. They're out here living in their cars. They're out here struggling from the bottom up. So therefore, we know that the things that we were imparting in them at that time was truth. It was truth, and things was better. People trust each other. You could trust my word. You could trust people to say, you could still trust my word, but a man was if he shook your hand and he gave you his word, you could trust that. Now we got a lot of liars, thieves, and manipulators out here. We got sharks out here that's willing to gobble our children up. Lucifer done been unleashed in the land. He's ready to steal, kill, and destroy, and scam anybody and anything that he can. Even your child, yes, your daughter too, yes, your son too. If you don't equip them with the information of today, we're looking at the fact that, we know AI is taking over everything. We know everything is being replaced with computers. I mean, just think about it, y'all. This conversation needs to be opened up, especially for our graduates. And yes, it's so exciting to know that they have made it. They have graduated. And you would think they should be able to take on this sense of pride and this sense of responsibility and be able to walk in what God has for them next. And yet and still, we already know what's out there. We know what's out there. And we are trusting God in the midst. But we also are going to equip them with the knowledge that they need so that they can make some informed decisions. It's hard to make informed decisions with lack of information. So you got to give them the information that is needed and find out that, the things that they hear on social media, the hype of it all, the people losing their jobs, this is reality. It's reality, no matter how we want to look at it. It's reality. I mean, I'm hearing people saying that they're putting in jobs applications and they're not even getting calls back. They're putting in job applications and the people that are actually accepting these applications are not even giving them the decency of saying, the job has been taken. We have hired someone else. They're not doing that anymore. And then when you constantly get on these internets and you see that people are being replaced with robots and you seeing 20,000 people losing their jobs, and you seeing robots replacing the whole place like they did with Amazon back then on the lines a few months ago. I mean, these things are very, very discouraging, and they are very, very necessary for our youth as they graduate, as they're coming out of high school, as they're coming out of college, as they begin to start their life, as they begin to think about the loans that they want to take out, how they're going to work during the times of them paying back these loans. I mean, this is a big thing because a lot of people are coming out of college and they got more debt than they had when they went in. So we got to make sure that everything is, they know exactly what their affordability is in this situation and what life looks like. I mean, even the ones that wants to be married and wants to start a family and want to think that they can just go get the big house and the brand new BMW and the Mercedes and the most expensive car they can find and the biggest house they can find. We need to give them the real reality of what that looks like. So sometimes before your kids get out there, before they go off to college, before they decide after they done graduated, before they go off to college, before they go out to your house to start their life, this day and time, you got to give them a whole plan. You got to write down a whole plan of what the world looks like and what the cost of things are, and let them know that as excited as they are to start their life, it's not like it was before when you can go get a whole house for $80,000 or $100,000. It's not that. It's not that. This is not that. And it's not the same when you can go out there and you can get a brand new pretty car for $20,000, $30,000, and you can get that most expensive car and enjoy yourself. It's not that. Things have doubled since then. Now, I'm just speaking from my era time because, like I said, a lot of times we look at these situations and our graduates right now, they are, I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of them. I am so proud of the ones that have called me and let me know they have graduated. I thank God for that. But then my heart begins to cry. My heart begins to bleed. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. Tell me what y'all would tell y'all. What are you telling your graduates at this time about buying purchasing a home and purchasing new cars and purchasing high dollar items? What are you telling your graduates about this type of thing? What are you telling your graduates when it comes down to them wanting to go to the mall and spend a lot of money, but yet these student loans may hit them in the face, yet they may not be able to get that expensive job like they thought they would? And about working on a job, like if you go to the hospital or whatever and work on a job for a few months or a few years and then you get laid off, but yet you stuck with this big bill. Are y'all informing them with the resources they need to be able to navigate these streets, as they saying we're moving into a recession, as they say we're in the middle of inflation, and this is so, and this is true, and this is where we're headed, this is what we see, and this is what the uncertainty of what we don't know as adults. Some adults don't know if they can do any purchases at this time because of the fact that they don't know what their job is going to look like. They don't know if they're going to have a job from one day to the next. There's so much uncertainty out here today that it's scary, and our graduates need to be informed as they begin to start their life. They want to have children. What does that look like? How hard is it going to be for you to be able to raise a baby in this economy? Let them know. Tell them young men to wrap it up. Tell them young women to cover it up. Make them strap up. We know we would love for them to wait until marriage, but that's not the conversation that they want to hear, but it is the one that they need to have. Have that conversation with them as well. At least they know what your wishes are, what God's wishes are, what you would like for them to do, because you're not ready to be a grandma yet, grandpa yet in this situation, because, I mean, they got to slow their roll in this season. They got to slow their roll. Got to slow their roll. This is not time to be rolling out a whole bunch of babies. This is not the time to be ruining your life coming right out of high school, coming right out of college. This is no time to take your life and throw it down the drain. They need to really be careful and really sit down and have a heart-to-heart talk with somebody about where their future should go from here and where their life should, how their life is going to go from here. I know there's no guarantees, but with the, as they say, with everything going computerized and with the robots, and they rolling out these trucks that drive by themselves, cars ride by themselves. They're trying to make everything robotic, where they don't need a human in a place, a human in this spot, a human in that spot. What do you do with that? What do you do? How do you do that? I don't even really know how to explain the situation. So I think it's a conversation we need to have with our graduates, but I still am so excited for the graduates. It's a shame that we got this over their head right now at the happiest time of their life. When they're excited, they shouldn't be thinking about nothing but enjoying themselves, celebrating their graduation, hanging out with their friends, and getting ready for their next year of school. But yet they got all these things to face. Is there going to be enough money in the household to even pay for the next set of tuition? While keeping in mind that we got all these massive layoffs that are going on with people that, have already been on the job for years, have already been, qualified to do the job for years. The same job that our new graduates coming out of college that want to apply for these jobs, we got people that are being laid off in these positions. So, I mean, what do you tell your graduate? What do you tell your graduate when you tell them that there's no job, that somebody been in that job for 20 years and they laying off IRS employees, they laying off state employees, they laying off federal employees, they laying off people that already got high-end jobs, they laying off doctors, nurses, they laying off everybody and anything. Anybody could get it. Nobody knows exactly whether their job is stable or not. It is very hard for you to predict what your life can be like, or how to start your life, or how to set your life up, when you hear these things and you hear people that already have these jobs are being laid off and not getting called back and ending up homeless in their cars and things of that nature because they cannot afford to live a regular normal life after they even got laid off, because they're losing everything. They're losing their cars, they're losing their homes, and people are actually resorting to moving in storage units. What do you tell the graduates? How are they supposed to be able to function in a world like this when we're in a world of so much uncertainty going around that we don't know what to say to them? We don't know what to say to them because of the fact that we don't know how to figure this thing out ourselves, because we don't know from one day to the next. You got businesses that are closing down because of the fact that they don't have enough income, enough revenue to be able to stay open during this time. So what do you tell them? Do you tell them to just going out there and just grab anything and everything after they paid all this money, they did all this time to work in the field of which they thought that they wanted to go in, and that's what they paid their college money for? And almost, to me, when I think about it, is college a scam? Are they being scammed? Because, you get all this money, you pay for these classes, you pay for all this time that you spend in college, and then you get out of college, now there's no job. Now they're going to do a robot. You done paid your $50,000. Now you $50,000 in debt, but we're going to put a robot in the position that you asked for. Or you're going to fill out applications all over the place and people playing with your emotions and throwing your applications in the trash while you wait, while you sit there and wait. And then you start thinking something's wrong with you. And all of a sudden now you got depression, anxiety, and stress all over top of you because of something that somebody else is deliberately doing to tear you down and wear you down. You got to really weigh out this situation and really spend time walking your graduates through this situation. I know a lot of you parents might be saying that, oh, I'm not doing that, or you was just so glad that they got grown enough for them to get out of your house. Well, this may not be the time for them to leave the nest. They may not be able to leave the nest. They may not be able to afford to leave the nest. So, I mean, these are things that I just been thinking about, and I just want you to, chime in on this conversation. Let's talk about, what do our graduates do after graduation when employment is scarce, when jobs are not hiring, when it don't look like they're going to be able to work in the field of which they went to school for. What do our graduates do? What happens after graduation? What happens after graduation? The job market sucks. The housing market sucks. I mean, yeah, that's a conversation. That's a conversation. What happens after graduation? Well, I'm sorry to rain on y'all parade. I come to uplift, motivate, and inspire, but yet and still, we still got to let them know the truth. So to all our graduates out there, 2025 graduates, I personally want to say, I am so proud of you. Keep right on grinding. Keep right on doing what you know how to do. Keep praying. Ask God to open doors for you, and continue to stay in His will. Keep right on trusting. Keep right on doing what's right. Regardless of what happens, do what's right. And know that whatever's going on in this economy, it's uncertain for us all. All I can say is God bless us all. So with that being said, I love y'all. Y'all, if you stayed this long, please consider subscribing to the channel. It would truly help the channel a whole lot. And if so, you've not turned your notification bell on, please turn your notification bell on at this time so you will be notified when I drop my next video. And let's have the conversation. I would really like to hear some feedback from each and every one of you about what you would think and what would you do and what would you say to the teens at this time, or the young adults at this time, coming out of graduation, coming out of college, high school or college, or even if they ready to just start their life. Let me know what you would say. Be blessed.